Previously on World of Mystery. The last place we left off was with Idun and Gusto meeting each other in the inn, and then making a run from the city. Climbing over the wall, and then jumping, they made it to a forest, which they stopped and then talked about their past. This story begins later that night. That night, Idun stood watch, and began to hear the sound of armor clanking. He saw soldiers wearing the symbol of the Cabal Empire. Idun, Gusto, wake up. Gusto came out of the tent. Gusto, so they caught us. Idun, yes. How do we escape? Gusto, we can't. And he held his hands up, in surrender. Idun, but you are a ninja, and I have this staff. We can take them. Gusto, in this world, people can do amazing things, but we are still human. That's a lesson we both need to learn. The Dispeller from before said, well spoken. So I assume you will be coming with us. He was interrupted, an arrow landing in the middle of the group, releasing smoke everywhere. Idun, I assume this is one of those amazing things. Gusto, yes, run. Idun teleported further into the forest, and Gusto slipped past the guards with the help of smoke and blur state, and they began to run. Idun, who shot that arrow? Then before them was a warrior in a mask, a slash mark separating the top half, which was blue, and the bottom half, which was red. She was wearing chainmail and wielding a double-edged sword. Idun, there is one, but she doesn't have a bow. Another arrow flew at Gusto, but he turned and caught it. Idun, I'll take him, and then he vanished, leaving Gusto and the warrior. He recognized her, though. Her name was Slash. She was a masked hero who traveled the world, who hunted criminals. Slash, this is your chance to surrender, I assume? I have a weapon? You don't. Gusto, I am a weapon. You see, all ninja are. Slash, well then, and Slash left towards Gusto, but he dodged out of the way and landed a jab to her face, making her vision turn to a blur. She began wildly swinging towards him, but he expertly dodged each of the strikes. She managed to scratch his shoulder and then swung towards his head, but he ducked, causing it to hit a tree. She began trying to yank out the sword, but it was lodged in too tight. Gusto grabbed the back of her armor and shoved her stomach into the hilt of the sword. She gasped for breath, but Gusto pulled her back and smashed his fist into the top of her mask, cracking it. Then he threw her to the ground. Gusto, you are good. You managed to scratch my arm with your vision blurred. Then Gusto turned and ran. Meanwhile, Idun appeared in a different part of the forest, and saw in the branches of a tree the same man who was looking for Gusto in the library. Idun knew he had limited time to beat him, because the soldiers were not far behind. So the plan is to use the element of surprise. Idun teleported behind him, and shoved him out of the tree, but he was tied to a rope that suspended him in the air, stopping the fall. A smile appeared on Idun's face, and a small flame burned on the end of his staff. He held it up to the rope. The man, don't you dare, Idun. Sorry, I dare, and lit the rope on fire, burning it away, causing the man to fall to the ground. He got up fast and shot an arrow towards Idun, but he teleported to the ground. He began to think, he has a good long-ranged attack, but I can still teleport around and make sure it doesn't hit. But the soldiers are coming. I don't have much time for that. I have to end this quickly. A fireball should do it, but that will kill him. No, Geomongol wouldn't like that. This guy was the one that shot the smoke arrow, so the guards are after him too. I could teleport, but there is a chance he will snipe us with his bow. It's worth the risk, and Idun teleported away and began to run. He began to see Gusto running alongside him. Gusto, set the forest on fire. Idun, that is a bit overkill, Gusto. Gusto, do it. Idun sent a fireball towards the forest, setting it ablaze. Gusto, now that the forest is burning, they can't follow us till tomorrow. We'll have a day and be ahead. They ran into open plains. Idun and Gusto kept going for a day. As they were walking, Idun, Gusto, where are we going? We're on open plains and there's a giant lake next to us. Won't we be easy to hunt? Gusto, we don't have a choice. We abandoned all of our supplies. All we have is 2 ration bars, your staff, and 4 shuriken. That's it. We need to go to Safe Gorge to get more supplies. Idun, isn't Galadrius closer? Gusto, yes, but Galadrius is the capital of the Empire, meaning more soldiers will be there, and I don't feel like dealing with that. Also, the Mimicker Mage lives there, and he works for the Empire. Neither of us can beat him, and I don't feel like running into him. Idun, good point, but Safe Gorge is 5 days, and like you said, all we have is 2 ration bars. Gusto, we'll have to manage. 2 days later, they saw a boat on the lake and realized the man rowing it. It was the archer from before. The archer, wait, Idun, should we wait for him? He is holding a white flag. Gusto, yes, I want to hear what he has to say. And besides, we can take him if he tries anything. The archer stopped the boat on the cold, wet ground and stepped out. Archer, I know this will seem like it is coming out of nowhere, but I need your help. Gusto, why would we help you? Archer, okay, let me start at the beginning of this story. I am a bounty hunter. My name is Clivis. I took a hit on you, Gusto, but the guards were trying to get you as well, so I had to hinder them in order to get the bounty. But I ran into that girl you defeated. She is a wizard whose power is transferring injuries from others onto herself. She is also skilled in sword fighting, but she ended up having a vision after that fight we had. It was of us working together and accomplishing amazing things. But we were ambushed by soldiers after that and she was captured. So I ran to you. I think we should all work together from now on. So, is this an acceptable offer? Gusto punches him in the face. You idiot. You can't complete a prophecy if you have even one piece missing. Clivis, okay. Look, I'm a bounty hunter. I don't know anything about magic. This job is not worth its price, so I'll just join you instead of doing anything else. Gusto, how do I know you're not making this all up just to join us? Clivis, I don't have any proof, but I can show you this. And he lowered his mask. He had blue eyes and black messy hair. It looked like he was wearing makeup as well. He was a pretty handsome person. Idun, well, that's something. Should we let him join us? Gusto, we know what your face looks like, but that's not enough. I have a test for you. Clivis, what? Gusto, as a team, we all go back to the prison where Slash is being held and save her. Clivis, no, that plan is complete suicide. Gusto, well, if what you're telling me is true, we will all make it out alive, unless you happen to be lying to me, in which case we all die. So, truth or lie? Clivis, truth. To be continued.